I can't do this. I just can't do this. I'm too old. I don't have any good ideas. I'm just going to lose anyway, eventually. What's the point? No point in even trying. I'm just not good enough. Those are some of the thoughts that go through my head every time I get up to speak. Do you ever have thoughts like that? Thoughts that you're not good enough? I'm too young. I'm too old. I'm too fat. I'm too thin. I'm too tall. I'm too short. I'm just not good enough. What's the point? If you have thoughts like that, do you pay attention to those? Or do you try to put them out of your mind and do it anyway? What would you say to a 19-year-old college student still trying to find his way, who had an idea and wrote down that idea? Would you say to him, someday your idea is going to be written on the wall of one of the most famous people in all of the 20th century? In 1968, Kent Keith, a sophomore in college, wrote a poem called The Paradoxical Commandments that began, "People are unreasonable, illogical, and selfish. Love them anyway." A 19-year-old sophomore had that idea. And it went on. Raise your hand if you've heard of Mother Teresa. In her wall, in her room in Calcutta, Mother Teresa had the words of this college sophomore written on her wall. And if you know anything about the dark nights of the soul that Mother Teresa went through, you'll know that those words must have given her inspiration when she felt like she couldn't go on. A 19-year-old sophomore wrote those words. What if Kent Keith had said, "Oh, I'm too young, I'm too inexperienced, I don't know anything about life, I can't write this down and put this out"? That wouldn't be there. Who knows what might have happened to Mother Teresa if she didn't have those words to help her going when the world was becoming dark and she felt so far away from God. I remember when the Palm Pilot came out. Remember the Palm Pilot, the first digital assistant? And I had this idea, because I had a Palm Pilot and a cell phone, and I thought, you ought to put them together. You ought to have a digital assistant and a cell phone and all this other stuff. I had that great idea, and that is why we all use the Arnold. We don't. We use the iPhone or the Android. Why? I had that idea. About probably hundreds of other people had that idea. But I thought, who am I? What do I know? I don't know anything about phones. I don't know anything about the electronics business. I can't do it. And so I didn't. Henry Ford said, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. I didn't believe I could, so I didn't. Now consider Steve Jobs. What could he be saying to himself? I have people working for me who are twice as smart as I am. I'm just some college dropout. You know, who the heck am I to be doing all these things? He never let that stop him. And if he was human like me and you, I'm sure he had those thoughts. I have those thoughts. You have those thoughts. But do we let those thoughts dictate our life? And the paradoxical commandments that Kent Keith wrote give us inspiration. They give me inspiration. They say, it doesn't matter what you do. It matters what I choose to do. And I can choose to succeed. I can choose to try. And even if I fail, I can choose to try again. Edison, when he was trying to invent the incandescent light bulb, had 10,000 experiments that failed. He said, what the heck are you doing? That was a total waste. No, it wasn't. I now know 10,000 things that don't work. And it was that 10,001st that got him to the finish line. Whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. So whether you're a 19-year-old sophomore or a old Toastmaster like myself, you have these thoughts. I have these thoughts. These thoughts are what keep me from getting to my goal. These thoughts are something that need to be pushed aside so that you can step forward. And even if I fail, then I can learn from the failure. And so one of the other commandments is, if you succeed, you will gain false friends and true enemies. Succeed anyway. Mr. Toastmaster.